So in one of the most blatant displays of hypocrisy, AOC and Bernie Sanders were spotted boarding a private jet and getting out of another private jet while on their tour of fighting the oligarchy. You know, all these oligarchs who are billionaires, who have all this power, and they should be brought down because well, before this, Bernie was fighting the millionaires, but as he became a millionaire himself, he had to move on to billionaires. But now he is pissed, and he wants to make a point that he has the right to flight in private jets. He has the right to flight on private jets, and he has this. He just unleashed on Brett Baier for suggesting otherwise. Listen.
You know, Alyssa Slotkin, senator from Michigan, she said you shouldn't be using oligarch. It's over people's head. You've gotten criticized from other people. Free Beacon says Bernie Sanders spent $221,000 on private jets fighting the oligarchy tour, paid for by friends of Bernie Sanders. That you've spent millions of dollars in campaign funds on private jet travel over the years. How do you push back on both of those things?
Yeah, how do you have a stance in which you are fighting billionaires or the oligarchy or, you know, capitalism or whatever you are stand for, because you know that Bernie Sanders is a dead-on communist, socialist, whatever you want to call it, and together with AOC. He wants AOC to be his surrogate, and but political surrogate, of course. I hope that I don't have to clear that up. But this is what was Sanders' answer.
When's the last time you saw Donald Trump during a campaign mode at National Airport?
Okay, this is the first argument from Sanders. Okay, Donald Trump uses a private jet. He has a private plane of his own that says Trump big in there, right? He is using Air Force One, but Trump has his own huge arse plane. Do you understand? Do you understand the kind of difference here, in which Trump is not fighting the oligarchy? Trump is not fighting capitalism. Trump is not saying that capitalism is bad. Trump is not saying that the amassing of wealth is bad. Trump is not saying that billionaires should pay their fair share, which many of them, if they are not doing what the usual tax structure of the United States enables, because let's face it, there are many billionaires in the United States, and some of them are Democrats and some of them are Republicans, and all of them benefit from the same tax breaks, as Trump said sometime in a debate. No, Trump is not fighting any of that. He wants more people earning and winning more money. That's why he comes out and he says, buy stocks now, go ahead. And then the stocks just shoot up. And what is Sanders' argument then?
No, it doesn't. But he's also not fighting the oligarchy.
No. You run a campaign and you do 3 or 4 or 5 rallies in a week. The only way you can get around to talk to 30,000 people. Think I'm going to be sitting on a waiting line at United?
That would be a nice TikTok video. That would be a nice campaign. Imagine that you are at an airport and you see actually Bernie Sanders on a line at United. That would be. I don't want to give Bernie ideas, but that would be. I don't know. It's different. All right, man. There's Bernie. He's flying economy with us. Oh yeah. That is so nice. He is so down to earth. He's practicing what he preaches with the common man. And yeah, it is absolutely possible, Bernie, to visit 3 cities in one day in the United States with so many flights between cities. And if you, for example, maybe you don't have to fly economy, maybe you can buy the next tier and at least you can, arrive at the airport just with 1 hour or maybe 30 minutes. And you don't need to be, don't need to be packing or checking your bag. You can just go through TSA and you're on the plane and you fly to the other city, and the other city you have your team there, and that could work. That would 100% work. 3 cities in the United States with so many flights between airports, completely doable. He doesn't do that because he doesn't want to rub elbows with, peasants and that stuff.
Waiting, 30,000 people are waiting. That's the only way you can get around. No apologies for that. That's what campaign travel is about. We've done it in the past. We're going to do it in the future.
We've done it in the past, and we are going to do it in the future. You can see that he has absolutely one thing that I can admire Bernie in this regard is that being so hypocritical, he still manages to look at Brett in the eye and say, I'm going to keep doing this whether you like this or not. And that's one thing that we need to understand. If you're a Bernie Sanders supporter, if you are a Bernie Sanders fan, if you are a Bernie Sanders acolyte, you will endorse this attitude, this behavior. You will say, oh, he's right. Why would you, how do you pretend that he's going to fly? He needs to rest between rallies. The guy is old and stuff and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, give me a break again. Okay, you cannot have these levels of hypocrisy and still expect people to listen to you. But at the same time, I understand that there are so many losers out there who want handouts, who want free stuff, who want socialism to save them, that they're going to rally after anybody who promises them free stuff. And if you're a socialist, a champagne socialist, one thing that you do very well is to promise free stuff. And that's what Bernie stands for. And AOC as well. Oh yeah, eat the rich, but not us.
In the future.
And you think that this is hitting a mark? You think it's scratching the itch that voters want to hear from?
I think at a time when the people on top are doing phenomenally well, when seniors, working class people are struggling, people want to hear action to stand up to the people who have the wealth and the power and create an economy that works for all of us, not just the people on top.
Right. Okay. An economy that works for all of us. But you are identifying yourself, Bernie. Again, I don't want to give you any ideas. You already said that you're going to do this in the future, no matter what. But you should understand that what you're doing is harming your message, as in you're trying to bring justice upon those who are at the top, but you're behaving exactly like those who are at the top. And so many of those who are at the top are not complaining about, the others who are at the top, or the billionaires or amassing wealth in the United States, because let's face it, Bernie, and this is a fact. There's no better country in this world than the United States to amass wealth. That is the crib, the center of capitalism, we could say, in the universe. So you're trying to go against something while representing what that something is. So you understand the level of hypocrisy, and he still tries to see Brett in the face. Still, we see some lip pressing here. He doesn't want to talk about the topic any longer. He wants to move on. But Bernie, you cannot escape this. This is way too much, even for you. But again, you have fought so hard for so many years for this. I guess I can play with you a little more while you think that you're doing something, while AOC does something about your legacy, because that's what I guess that you have AOC for.
Senator Sanders, I appreciate you coming on, talking about the issues, and we'll have you back.
Thank you very much, Brett.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's it. And there's another clip shared by N. Wogness, in which we have the full comparison of the Bernie versus Bernie. What does Bernie versus Bernie say?
What we're doing now is speaking to the American people and saying, you have got to be involved in this process, because if you are not, the planet that we're going to leave to our kids and our grandchildren will be significantly less habitable.
5 rallies in a week, the only way you can get around to talk to 30,000 people. Think I'm going to be sitting on a waiting line at United?
Yeah, again, they talk about climate change. It's like, Bill Gates, I can fly on my jet all that I want because I've already, capture the carbon equivalent to whatever my private jet and my complete family private jet flights have generated, something like that. It's like, okay, I have 20 children now, so I guess that I can murder 19 people and still it will be a net positive. My contribution would still be a net positive to the world. That's their logic. Okay, that is their logic. To be fair, and it's hard for me to be fair with Bill Gates. Bill Gates is not fighting the oligarchy either. He's fighting climate change. That is another kind of hypocrisy. Bernie does it in 2 levels: climate change and the oligarchy. It's a new record. Again, I would love to know what do you think about this level of hypocrisy in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Power Pundit. Much love and bliss.